think you should.
So episode 3 of Persona 5 starts off a little bit differently than the previous two episodes. We start off immediately in the Velvet Room, and obviously Igor is talking about, how, a place called, that the main character is called a palace. I'm not really sure how I'm trying to explain it, but he's basically explaining like these palaces that the Phantom Thieves, as they're later called in the episode, towards the end of the episode, honestly. But he's explaining like that it's the place of their desires, and they take a manifestation into how they see a certain place. So with Kamoshida, he sees the whole school as a castle and him as a king, but that's already been kind of explained in the previous episodes. But they went ahead and decided to explain that in the beginning of episode 3. And also, they do mention the fact that Ren, the main character, has a comrade with him going into these palaces, which is Ryuji. So we got that, and the next scene is Ryuji and Ren. They're on the train and they're talking about the whole thing that happened inside of the palace, right? With not really a shadow on, but like a manifestation of how Kamoshida sees on, and then Kamoshida obviously doing whatever the fuck he was doing in the episode. And in the same episode, in the same scene, we actually see Akechi. And for those of you who don't know who Akechi is, he's basically this child detective that's like insanely smart and figures out a lot of these crimes for the police, but he's still like a high school student, right? And later on in the series, he'll become more of a main focus in terms of a lot of the story parts of it, and also including spoilers, he joins the team, but he doesn't stick around for very long, and you'll understand when we get to that. But that's not what we're talking about right now. So they're on a train and they're talking about like, all right, like what the fuck do we do? What do we do about Kamoshida, right? And so now they're talking about how the volleyball team members in the club are being abused by Kamoshida. They're getting hit. The students are, right? So now they sorry, I just got a text message. So now they are, now they're gonna go to the school and ask some of the members, about the abusing that Kamoshida has been doing to them. And he immediately jump cuts to the next scene where the students and the teachers are playing volleyball, and Kamoshida isn't really playing fair. He's actually being really rough with some of the kids. And then it jump cuts to another scene where Ren and Ryuji are talking to a whole bunch of the students that are part of the volleyball club or the team or whatever, and they're all making a whole bunch of excuses like, oh, those are false accusations, we're trying to go to nationals, so it's only natural that practice is really rough, etc., etc. They're basically just trying to hide the fact of the truth of what Kamoshida is actually doing. And some of them are actually severely injured. One of them literally has a broken arm, so that kind of says a lot of what probably happened. And then of course, later in the episode, we actually find out that the character Mishima, I believe that's what his name is, he's actually the reason why a lot of rumors have been speculating with Ren and him having a criminal record kind of spread about with the whole school, because Kamoshida made him, release his criminal record all over the internet, all over online. So it basically just kind of spread around, and then it spread around into school. And then of course they started making accusations about the new kid that's into school, and also they think he's even worse of a kid because he's hanging around with Ryuji, even though Ryuji didn't even do anything. So a lot of people are scared of them too, just because. And then the next scene is An and Shiho, which is her best friend, and kind of the main focus, not really the main focus, but like kind of like an important part of this episode, because she's getting abused by this fucking like gym teacher, right? And it's not pretty to see or anything. It's really bad. She has like bandages all over her arms and shit, and it's just bad, and you feel bad, and you feel so disgusted by the fact that this fucking gym teacher would have such a hierarchy or whatever the word I'm trying to use. Just it's so fucking disgusting. I hate it. An's trying to, be your friend, because we find out later in the episode that Shiho has been her only friend since like middle school, so she's very important to her in her life, but then so Ryuji and Ren, they show up. They're trying to go and ask Shiho a couple of questions, but An is just like, whatever, those are rumors, etc., etc., right? Don't go spreading rumors. Then An is, trying to go home, and then she gets a phone call from all people, Kamoshida, and Kamoshida's saying like, "Oh, I'll cut her off the team as a starter, come to my fucking apartment alone," and this just a whole bunch of sick, disgusting, perverted shit, and it's so disgusting. I'm sick to my stomach right now. I was just gonna say, I was sick to my stomach watching the episode. I'm sick to my stomach having to fucking try to talk about this shit, because Kamoshida is just a disgusting, just irritating fucking character. So she basically just falls to the ground feeling defeated, like she can't do anything besides what she's trying to fucking do. She's trying to do the best for her friend, and if it means having to do some sick, disgusting shit, then that's what she's gonna do. But luckily the main character Ren shows up, and he's basically trying to, be there as like a friend, as an ally, trying to comfort her. Of course, she's like, "Oh, eavesdropping is creepy." It's hard to talk right now. I haven't had anything to drink yet, like some water, but I'll do it after this recording. So they go, and they're just hanging out. She's talking about her relationship with Shiho, and Kamoshida trying to fucking kick her off the team unless An does this stupid shit. And she can't take it anymore, and like she's emotionally distressed, like she's like mentally and physically just fucking destroyed, and it's destroying her, and she doesn't know what to do anymore. She's at the brink of tears. She's fucking crying her heart out, and she can't fucking handle this shit anymore. And then Kamoshida decides to fucking do some shit. I don't fucking even want to think about what he did to this fucking girl. But Mishima is like, "Oh, I'm just a messenger," so he tells her to fucking go to Kamoshida to do whatever fucking sick shit that he's doing. And then we get a flashback jump cut of Morgana, and he's explaining, like, yeah, if we go into the palace and we steal his treasure, worst case scenario, he could die. And he doesn't specifically say that we need to steal his treasure, but he says we can change him in worst case scenario. Kamoshida could die. Obviously, Ren and Ryuji aren't trying to fucking kill someone, right? So they're contemplating what they need to do, and they're thinking about whether or not they should do it, because yes, again, worst case scenario, Kamoshida could die. And in the next scene, they're in class. Ren and An are in class, and then all of a sudden, Shiho is on top of the fucking school, and she's about to jump off. They see her outside, and then she jumps. There's a scene of her just standing there. There's a flashback of what fucking happened, and it's disgusting. And then she just jumps. She jumps, and it just cuts to black, and I'm just like, oh my god, they make this so much more dark than it needed to be. So Shiho explains to An. We can't hear what she says, but she explains to An what happened, I guess, in a way. And then she's sent off to the hospital. An goes with her. And then Ryuji and Ren, they confront Mishima, and he then explains what happened with Kamoshida and etc., etc. They go and confront him, and then Ryuji's about to fucking deck this dude in the face, but Ren stops him because it just gives him an excuse for, for like potential stuff that could have happened. But he then explains like, yeah, I'm gonna expel you three to. I'm gonna expel you three, right? Which is Ren, Ryuji, and Mishima, because he explains that Mishima, again, he leaked out Ren's criminal record, so he has almost everything to do with this, I guess, in a way. Um, and it's then they decide that they're gonna go ahead and take a gamble and go with Morgana to the palace and take his treasure. And again, worst case scenario, Kamoshida dies. But they want to try to pull this off without him dying. So they go to the palace, and An hears everything, and she actually ends up going there. But they actually do this a little bit differently in the game. In the game, what happens is that all three of them are there, right? Morgana, Ren, and Ryuji. They're outside of the front gate, and then An is like, where the hell am I? And then they send her back to the real world, but because of how, the cognitive world and the metanav works, she immediately gets the app for the metanav and then later returns back in. But the whole time that this happens, Ren, Ryuji, and Morgana, they're, sneaking around the whole castle, the palace, right? And they get to where they map out the layout of where the treasure actually is and where they need to go in order to sneak past like some of the guards and then get to the treasure, right? Meanwhile, all that is happening. An is captured by some of the guards, and then Kamoshida is there, right? And they're about to fucking kill this chick, right? Or whatever the fuck Kamoshida was about to do. Who's about to rip off her fucking clothes, you sick pervert? It's so just disgusting. So they're trying to help her, and then they realize, oh, maybe she got back here, or maybe she got here because of us with the metanav. So, they're about to fucking kill her, right? And she's like, if you take another step, we're gonna kill her. So Ren and Ryuji can't really do anything. They're just standing there. And then An just, feels so defeated because Kamoshida is like, oh yeah, the Shiho girl, I don't even remember her name. She dumped because of you, yada yada yada, because you didn't give me what I want. Bullshit, right? Fuck off. And then Ren is like, are you really just gonna allow that to happen? Are you not gonna get vengeance for your friend? Are you not gonna try to get payback? And then of course, then An gets the whole sequence with I am thou, thou art I. And then she gets her own persona, Carmen. And it's this really cool scenario where she's chained up. Yeah, she's chained up, and it looks fucking perverted, I guess is the word. And then when she's about to get her persona, the chains actually, disappear. They get evaporated, I guess. And then she gets the mask, rips it off, and then the blue flames like erupt around her. And then Carmen, her persona shows up, and then she has a whole alpha change. She does like this whole flip, grabs one of the fucking guard's swords, and completely slashes in half the fake An that was inside as a cognitive version of how Kamoshida sees An. And I was just like, damn, that's hot. I don't know why I said that. I thought it was funny. I said that as a joke while watching it. I thought it was funny. So then they start a fight with some of the personas that you could get in the game, but I don't really know what to call them. And then Ryuji's starting to like call her like, oh, like a cougar and one of those, and then An's just like, oh, what do you mean by that, right? Either way, they continue with the fight. They win. They do an all-out attack, and it ends really cool because An does like her little wink with the peace sign like in the game. It looked really cool. They all do like their pose that they do for the all-out attack, except in the game it only shows up for one of them for some reason. I don't know. So she then realizes the outfit she's wearing. She's then embarrassed, saying, "Don't look at me." I thought it was funny. And then they leave. They leave the palace, and then they're back in a train station. And then, that's basically when they then, confirmed that all four of them are going to go inside of the palace and take Kamoshida's treasure, which should, change him into at least a moderately decent guy now, and it'll make him, confess what he has done, right? It'll make him have a change of heart, right? So, and then An explains that this will be her atonement for all of the shit that she did or whatever, which I don't really know. I don't really remember what she did, but she didn't do anything, morally wrong. She did the stuff that she did just because, she had to. She did it for a friend. So whatever. This is her atonement. All four of them decide to team up. They're gonna do it. And you know, obviously, if you played the game, you already know what happens. And I'm excited for next week's episode. But then they start saying like, oh, they're the Phantom Thieves. And the end of the episode, with after the credits, they actually show the calling card that they do whenever they're about to steal someone's treasure from a palace. It's a calling card saying the Phantom Thieves of Hearts, and they explain like, oh yeah, Kamoshida did this shit, yada yada yada, and they're about to go steal his heart. And I said this before after the episode was over. As I was done watching it, I was like, why didn't they do this at the end of the episode? Why didn't they do this at the beginning of next week's episode? Because not a lot of people actually, you know, watched till the end. But whatever. I'm not the one making the episode, so I can't really, you know, give that authority to say what they should and should not do. But either way, that's the end of the episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. Be on the lookout later today, hopefully, because I should probably have another video up, which is for My Hero Academia. Maybe later today, maybe around the afternoon. I hope I can get this around, maybe 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, depending on how long it actually takes to render my video, because sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's not. But hopefully I can get this out about later in the morning, and then I can get my next video out, you know, sometime in the afternoon or in the evening. So anyways, yeah, like I said, if you did enjoy, leave a like. If you are new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you missed my last video, I reviewed the new God of War game, and go watch it, because I basically give you my full, you know, opinions of what I thought about the game in the first like 10 or so hours. So by then I already finished the game, but it's whatever. So go watch it if you haven't. Leave a like again. Subscribe if you are new. Go check out my other videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.